Good day everyone, and you are welcome to Mathematics Solution Center. Today we are going to be talking about coordinate system, distance between 2 points, midpoint of a line segment, division of a line in a given ratio. So the first one is the coordinate system. To locate a particular object or a point or a place, we need the coordinate of that point or place. So to completely define a point, we need the coordinate of the point. And what is coordinate? The coordinate of a point is always written in the form of x, y. So whenever you have two figures written together separated by a comma inside a bracket, then it represents what? The coordinate. And what does it mean? It means the first value is what? Is the value of x, while the second value is the value of y. So the coordinate of a point, please take note of this, is always written in the form of x, y. So in this coordinate written here 1, 2, what is the value of x? The value of x is simply what? 1. And what is the value of y? The value of y is simply what? 2. Now the Cartesian coordinate, we can locate the position of an object either in space or on a plane. Here we are talking about a two-dimensional axis. Now that is the location of a point on a plane. The two-dimensional axis consists of the x and the y axis. The x-axis consists of the positive x-axis and the negative x-axis, while the y-axis consists of what? The positive y-axis and the negative y-axis. You can see that it's just a form of number lines, two number lines intersecting. So they are numbered from 0. This is 0.0 here. The point of intersection of the x and the y-axis, that is called the origin. This point is the origin. And the coordinate of the origin is always 0, 0. Most of times, but sometimes you can change it, but that does not mean that is the main coordinate of origin is in 0, 0. We want to locate some points here, -2, -1. How are we going to locate this? So what does this actually mean? Point A is what? -2, -1. It means that the x value is -2 and the y value is -1. So let's locate -2 on the x-axis. This is my -2 here. And where is -1? On the y-axis. This is my -1 here. So we just have to trace these 2 points until they intersect. So tracing this one downward and tracing this to go and meet it. So we have this. This is the point we are referring to, point A. We have located point A. We can locate another point. Let's say we want to locate -1, 1. We want to locate -1, 1. So -1, 1 will be here. So that is point -1, 1. So that about locating a point. You can do more examples and contact your textbooks for more examples. Okay, the next thing we are going to look at now is the distance between 2 points. Take for instance, we have a line and the coordinate of this first part of the line, let's say it is x1 and then y1. And here is x2, y here is y2. So let's say this is point A and point B. So it simply means that the coordinate of point A is x1, y1, while the coordinate of point B is x2, y2. So we want to calculate the distance between point A and point B. So imagine we just have two coordinates given. The coordinate of 2 points are given. How do we calculate the distance between these 2 points? Just like what we have on the screen. Okay, the first thing we have to do, let's complete this to form a triangle, and it's going to form a right angle triangle. Okay, this is a right angle triangle. You know, the distance we want to calculate now is AB, distance AB, and let's call this change in y, and here is change in x. If you take a look at this diagram very closely, change in y will be equal to y2 minus y1. Imagine you start from this particular point and you have taken a distance of y1 getting to this particular point, and you move further. The distance from the x-axis to point B is y2, and the distance from the x-axis to this particular point here is y1. So what will now be the distance from here to here? Simply is just going to be what? y2 minus y1. Just take for instance, we have from here to here is 1, and from here to here is 3. So what will be from here to here? It's simply going to be 2. How do you get the 2? 3 minus what? 1. That is the same logic we are going to use here. Change in y is going to be equal to y2 minus y1. And the same thing, change in x is equal to what? x2 minus x1. This is my AB, y this is my change in y, and this is my change in x. According to Pythagoras theorem, since this is a right angle triangle, we are going to have AB squared is equal to change in x squared, then plus change in y squared. So square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. Okay, we have to substitute those values we have here. That is, change in x is equal to x2 minus x1, while change in y is equal to y2 minus y1. Therefore, we have AB squared is equal to x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. So we can find the square root of both sides. That means distance AB is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared, then plus y2 minus y1 all squared. So this becomes the formula for calculating the distance between 2 points. When the coordinates of 2 points are given, the points are x1, y1, point A, and point B is what? x2, y2. Let's take an example. Take for instance, we have a point A is 3, 2, and then point B is 4, let's say 4, 5. Calculate the distance between A and B. According to our formula, we have that the distance between 2 points is given by what? The square root of x2 minus x1 squared, then plus what? y2 minus y1 squared. Once you know your formula, you are good to go. But take a look, which one is x1, which one is x2. Don't forget that the coordinate of a point is always written in the form of x, y. Okay, so that means point A, we have point A is 3, 2. So we can take it to be what? x1, y1. So it simply means that my x1 is equal to 3 and my y1 is equal to 2. So don't take it like this, that this is 3 is x1 and 2 is x2. No, you have misinterpreted or given a wrong interpretation to the coordinate of a point where you take it like that. So it is what? x1, y1. So 3 is my x1, 2 is my y1. Okay, so we've gotten x1 and y1. So point B is 4, 5. Point B, 4, 5. Therefore, x2 will be equal to 4, and then y2 will be equal to 5. As simple as that. But you can as well turn everything around. That is, you can take point B to be x1, y1, and take point A to be what? x2, y2. You will still arrive at the same answer. But just make sure that in every coordinate given to you, you have x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, like that. So we can now substitute in our equation. So AB is equal to the square root of x2 is 4 minus x1 is 3, then squared, then plus y2 is 5 minus y1 is 2 squared. Therefore, we have the square root of 4 minus 3 is 1 squared, then plus 5 minus 2, that is 3 squared. Therefore, we have the square root of 1 plus 3 times 3 is 9. So this is the square root of 10. Let's go to the next subtopic. Okay, the next thing we are going to be looking at now is in the midpoint of a line segment. That is the midpoint between 2 points. Take for instance, we have a point A, it's x1, y1, and then point B is x2, y2. So what is the midpoint between point A and point B? That is what we want to calculate in terms of point A and point B. So this is point A and this is point B. We want to find the midpoint. The midpoint, let the midpoint be this point, and the midpoint we have a coordinate of y here and a coordinate of x here. So the coordinate of the midpoint C, let's call the point C, is an x comma y. Okay, take note of this. Let's extend this line backward. The distance from here to here is going to be y minus y1. Let's start from the x-axis. It simply means that x minus x1 is equal to x2 minus x. The distance from here to here is x2 minus x. Take note. So x minus x1 is equal to x2 minus x. What we are looking for is x. We are looking for x, but we want it to be in terms of what? X1 and x2. Therefore, let's make x the subject of the formula. We have x. Let's take this other x to the other side. We have x plus x, and take x1 to the other side is equal to x1 plus x2. So we have 2x is equal to x1 plus x2. Divide both sides by 2. We have x is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2. For y, we have y2 minus y is equal to y minus y1. So on y-axis, we have y2 minus y is equal to y minus y1. Let's make y the subject of the formula just like we did in x. Therefore, we are going to have y1 plus y2 is equal to y plus y. Interchange the left and the right hand side. We have 2y is equal to y1 plus y2. Divide through by 2. Therefore, y is equal to y1 plus y2 all over 2. So the coordinate of point C is going to be x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. Let's take an example. Take, for instance, we have a point A is 5, 8, and point B, let's say, is 7, minus 4. Okay. So we want to calculate, the question is calculate the coordinate of the midpoint of point A and B. So let the midpoint be point C. We want to find the coordinate, which is going to be x, y. So x will be equal to x1. Let's write the formula first. x1 plus x2 over 2. So where is my x1? 5 is my x1. 8 is my y1. 7 is my x2. y4 minus 4 is my y2. Therefore, the x coordinate will be equal to, what is x1? 5, and x2 is 7. Therefore, we have 5 plus 7 over 2. 5 plus 7 is 12 over 2. So that means the value of x is 6. So we repeat the same process for y. Y is equal to y1 plus y2 over 2. Therefore, we have y is equal to, what is my y1? y1 is 8 and y2 is minus 4. So we have 8 plus minus 4 over 2. Therefore, y is equal to 8 minus 4 over 2, which is equal to 4 over 2. Therefore, y is equal to 2. So my y is 2, my x is 6. Therefore, the coordinate of the midpoint x, y is actually 6, 2. The next topic we are going to be looking at is division of a line in a given ratio. Let's have a point here that this point is actually the point that is going to divide. Let's say this is my point A here. and this is my point B, and let here be my point C. That is going to divide this line into the ratio of P ratio Q. So we have this, we have this, we have this, and we have this. X here, and here will be my Y. So the distance from here to here is actually going to be Y minus Y1. And the distance from here to here is going to be Y2 minus Y. The same thing is happening here. Let me write my X here. So the distance from here to here is going to be X2 minus X. And the distance from here to here is X minus X1. Okay, but don't forget that the point C divides point AB, line AB, in the ratio P ratio Q. The same thing, the ratio between this and this is in the same ratio, P ratio Q. Y2 minus Y, I'm referring to this particular point now. So we are going to have Y2 minus Y over Y minus Y1 is equal to Q over P. The whole of this ratio this is equal to the ratio of this over this. All we are looking for here is Y. We want to get the relationship between Y, the ratio of division, and the rest. Okay, let's cross multiply. Q into bracket Y minus Y1 is equal to P into bracket Y2 minus Y. Open the bracket, I have QY minus QY1 is equal to PY2 minus PY. Everything that contains Y, bring them together. So I have QY, this is going to the other side, it becomes plus PY is equal to QY1 plus PY2. So factorize this. So Y is common. So we have Y into bracket P plus Q is equal to QY1 plus PY2. Divide both sides by P plus Q. Therefore, I have Y is equal to PY2 plus QY1 over P plus Q. So that's what we have. So the value of Y is equal to PY2 plus QY1 all over P plus. The same process for X axis. For X axis, we have X2 minus X and then X minus X1. Therefore, we are going to have X2 minus X over X minus X1 is equal to Q over P. This one is going to Q, while this one is going to P. Okay, X2 minus X over X minus X1 is going to be equal to what? Q over P. Therefore, we have X2 minus X over X minus X1 is equal to Q over P. So let's cross multiply. So we have Q into bracket X minus X1 is equal to P into bracket X2 minus X. Open the bracket, we have Qx minus Qx1 is equal to Px2 minus Px. Collect the like terms. This one is going like this, and this one is going like this. Therefore, we have Qx plus Px is equal to Px2 plus Qx1. Factorize this side, we have x into bracket Q plus P, which is the same thing as P plus Q, is equal to Px2 plus Qx1. Divide both sides by Q plus P. Therefore, we have x is equal to Px2 plus Qx1 over Q plus P. So this is the division of a line into a given segment or into a given ratio. We have come to the end of this tutorial. In our next tutorial, we are going to be talking about gradient, the angle of slope, the equation of a line, the general form of equation of a line. We are going to see more example on the ones we have even already derived. Thanks for watching. Like our videos, put on the notification, share this video, and at the same time, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks and remain blessed.